hey there. Now make me laugh, Mr. Funny Man. Yeah, condoms and wieners and this and that. Ooh, what does that mean? Cut that blowjob part out. Just for a little teeny laugh. Hi, I'm Rick Reynolds. I've always been kind of steered toward comedy. When I was in high school, a senior in high school, I was voted most talkative and best actor. There was a comedy competition in Portland. They all encouraged me. And the first time I ever did stand-up, I won the competition. Mostly because everybody in it sucked horribly, except me. About a month later, I was in a show for Greenpeace, I think it was. It was a benefit. And Michael Pritchard was there, Bobby Slayton, and a couple other comics I can't remember. And I opened for them, and they all encouraged me to move to San Francisco. I wish I had known then what I know now. I knew the funniest people in the world. And we had such a great time. And I loved the city of San Francisco. I was born in Portland, and I lived in San Francisco for less than half the time I was in Portland. But it owns my heart. I remember in the stand-up comedy competition in Portland, I didn't know how I'd do. And the first joke I told got a big laugh. It felt great. And I was the class clown, always in school, and I was always making people laugh. Probably because when I went home, I was getting beaten and we were poor and just all of that shit that went on, I think that actors get up on stage every night and pretend to be somebody else. Comics get up on stage every night and pretend to be themselves. It always amazes me, like I have ad-libbed something, it didn't even seem funny to me. Huge laugh. I go, what the hell? Put it in my act. And then other things, oh man, this is going to work. I know this is nothing. It's amazing what people laugh at and what they don't laugh at, to me. I did this bit saying my grandfather just got in a stroke and he was paralyzed from the neck up, which is tragic because he was a lounge singer. Who wants to see, hey there, you with the stars in your eyes? And by the way, I have not had sex in over 20 years at this point in my life. By the way, you know how you can tell when you've gone too long without sex? It's when your fantasies during masturbation are of past times you masturbated. The prison gig is probably the biggest laughs I've ever gotten. So I did a prison gig once, talk about bad gigs, and we get in there, and we get in a small room, there's 3 of us, and he says, there's certain things you can't do in this prison. You are not to mention under any circumstances cell block C. I guess it's where they kill people. Cell block C. Don't mention cell block C. They need all these things. Don't mention this. Don't mention that. Don't mention this. So I watched the first 2 guys go out. They're eviscerated. They're literally throwing shit at them. And I'm going, oh God, I have to go out there. Oh God, I have to go out there. This is the worst thing ever. So I walk out and I go, I just got back from cell block C and boy is my ass sore. Wah! The biggest laugh I've ever gotten in my, wah! And then I walk up to there's a guy in the front row whose hair's in curlers. And I go, where are you going tomorrow that you need to look better than tonight, the big social event of your entire year? And then it was all about you're supposed to mention there were guards with guns. This one guy was kind of heckling me. I had to every move, and I ordered the guards to shoot him. Shoot him in the fucking head. I don't care about this guy. That was like a hell gig that turned out really well for me. The things I wanted to talk about were things that I found important. I never did politics. But, I talk a lot about God and the dissolution of a relationship that was once good, that's turned bad. I wanted to talk about serious things. And a lot of comics don't want to do that. I'm not better than other comics, just different than other comics. That cold opening that I did for a while was at birth we're yanked from a warm, safe place and thrust into a world we have no way of comprehending. And I just went on hi, I'm Rick Reynolds, like that. And that was the first thing I ever did that was a little more serious. And I really, really liked that. And so, I just moved away from stand-up toward that. This is my most valuable poster. Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, worth $5,000. Beatles, butcher sleeve, $2,500. Me, priceless. When you can make a person burst out laughing, it really makes you happy. And if you make a lot of people burst out laughing, you're really happy with that. was on a roll. I'm going to think of all these things I wish I had said.